devotees. O Master, please be merciful unto us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame will be spread all over the three worlds. Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Hare Krishna, good morning everybody. Welcome to the morning stream. Let us know where you're watching from, which planet or which city, which town or which village. I think it's can chant pretty. Jai Radha Madhava. Yeah, we should just chant right away, no need to do gaps. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Prabhupada Astasata Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnu Paramahamsa Prabhupada Astasata Srimad His Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Najakoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Prem Shikha
Namacharya Shri
Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem Shikha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasti Gaura Bhakti Vrinda
Jai.
Jai.
Shri Radha
Shri Radha Krishna Gopi Gopinath Shamkunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai. Samaveta Bhakti
Vrinda Ki Jai.
Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Shri Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Viha Midanga Ki Jai. Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nita Gora Pramanande. Hare Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Welcome to the morning stream. If you're new here, consider subscribing for more exciting programs. There are more than 4 streams a day. So, sure, if you can find time to watch either of them, whatever your time zone is. Here we are in the US with Back to Max Prabhu. The other live streams, they broadcast from Spain, Malaga.
I think we left off at such knowledge of simultaneously one and different. Such knowledge of
Sure.
Such knowledge of simultaneously one and different from the absolute truth is really.
Or if you can take the mic.
Oh yeah. Such knowledge of simultaneously one and different from the absolute truth is really for the well-being of the knower. Otherwise, the mental speculators mislead the people by wrongly establishing the energy as absolute. When it is factually understood, the situation becomes more pleasing than the imperfect conception of monism or dualism. Development of this consciousness leads one at once to the stage of freedom from the threefold miseries. The threefold miseries are: number 1, in relation with the body and the mind.
Such knowledge of
Number 2,
simultaneously
in
one and
relation
different
with
from
our
the
dealings
absolute
and
truth
with
is
other
really
living
for the
beings.
well-being
And
of
number 3, in relation with the acts of providence on which we have no control. Srimad Bhagavat begins from the surrender of the living entity unto the absolute person with clear consciousness of the devotee's oneness with the absolute, at the same time his eternal position of servitorship of the Lord. In the material conception of life, he thinks himself falsely as the lord of all he surveys, and therefore he is always troubled in the above-mentioned threefold miseries of life. But as soon as he now comes to know his real position of transcendental servitude at once, he becomes freed from all the above-mentioned miseries. The servitorship position of the living being is wasted in the material conception of his life, with a false sense of overlordship. This servitorship is transferred unto the Lord in pure consciousness of spiritual identity, and at once the living entity becomes freed from the encumbrances of material affliction. Over and above this, the Srimad Bhagavatam is the personal commentation of the Vedanta Sutra by the great author himself, and that also in the mature stage of his spiritual realization through the mercy of Narad. Sri Vyasadeva is the authorized incarnation of Narayan, the personality of Godhead. Therefore, there is no question about his authority. He is the author of all other Vedic literatures, but surpassing all of them, he recommends the study of Srimad Bhagavatam. In other Puranas, there is different method of worshipping the demigods, but here in the Bhagavatam, only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is mentioned. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is the whole body, and the demigods are his different parts of the body. As such, by worshipping the Supreme Lord, there is no need of worshipping the demigods, because the Supreme Lord is at once fixed up in the heart. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has recommended the Srimad Bhagavatam as the spotless Paranam on account of its being distinguished from all other Puranas. The mode of receiving the transcendental message is to get it through the ears by submissiveness. No challenging mode can help the receiver in getting or realizing the transcendental message. Herein, therefore, one particular word is used for proper guidance. This particular word is shushrushu. One must be anxious to hear about the transcendental message, and this qualification of hearing with interest is the prime qualification for assimilating transcendental knowledge. Unfortunately, less fortunate persons are not interested in giving patient hearing to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. The process is simple, but the application is difficult. Fortunate persons will not find out enough time for hearing ordinary social, political, and all sorts of idle talks, but when they will be invited to attend a meeting of the devotees assembled to hear on Srimad Bhagavatam, the unfortunate creatures will either be reluctant to attend such meeting, or they will indulge in hearing the portion of it where they are unfit to enter in. Professional reader of the Bhagavatam indulge in the confidential topics of the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, which seemingly appear to be sex literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is meant to be heard from the beginning of the literature, and the class of persons who are fit to assimilate it is also mentioned in this shloka. Such bona fide audience for hearing the Srimad Bhagavatam are generated after many pious deeds, but an intelligent person, by thoughtful discretion, can believe in the assurance of the great sage Vyasadeva and give a patient hearing to the message of Srimad Bhagavatam in order to realize directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And without undergoing the different stages of Vedic ways, one can at once be lifted to the position of Paramahamsa simply by agreeing to receive patiently the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. Nigama Kalpatoro. Okay. Oh, that's the next verse.
I was born in darkness of ignorance, and my spiritual master is divine rays. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada kindly opened the darkened eyes to the shadow of knowledge. Offer my humble obeisances to his Buddha's feet.
Jai.
Yes, everyone is accustomed to hear. If we're going to read the next chapter, starts from the questions of the sages. So just like everyone is accustomed to question, everyone is accustomed to hear. But the question, what did they hear about? The quality of hearing. Material quality of hearing is hearing where to secure our animalistic necessities, eating, mating, sleeping, defending. But, as we read before, in the previous paragraphs, the human form of life starts from the point that we inquire about something higher. What is that something higher? That's the spirit soul. And the spirit soul being distinct from the bodily necessities too, is transcendental, very distinct from that. As we can see, the body, without the soul in the body is no longer beautiful, the body is no longer cared for. They simply, in India, very intelligently, they burn it. In our Necha Western countries, they bury the body. I think in Canada too, you can cremate the body.
Yeah.
But I remember when I would go to the Muslim cities, some of them were kind of understand what I'm coming from, like Indian culture and that. But they immediately would take offense. I remember this one guy in a cab, I don't think I got it on camera, but he was protesting that, what is this religion that they burn the body? It's haram, it's sinful, you cannot burn the body. Body is given by God, so we have to worship it. So it's his ignorance, it's actually the consciousness in the mode of ignorance. The neglect, the essence of what is actually godly in the body. Yes, the body is respected and very much appreciated so long the spirit soul is there. If the spirit soul is not there, then you can toast the body here and there, the body is not going to protest. As soon as the spirit soul leaves the body, what happens to the body? Body starts to decompose. You're going to burn it or not burn it. It's going to, what is the burning process, right? The material elements, they merge, the earth portion merges into the earth portion, the water into the water, fire into the fire, the ash remains, the earth remains. So the merging process is going to continue. Either you burn the body or not. But the intelligent man, he understands, why should I waste time lamenting on the body? Let me lament for the soul, where the spirit soul, where the spiritual spark is going. But instead, right, they make a big, like a whole temple to the worship of this dead body. So many graveyards. I spent some time now in Israel. So many graveyards everywhere, because they believe if you bury the body in the Holy Land of the Jews or the Muslims or the Christians, you attain salvation when the Messiah or the Jesus or the Muhammad comes back. But where the spirit soul, and where the body rots, and the spirit soul is completely somewhere else, in heaven or hell, right? So the salvation, even if we take that argument for a second, and we say yes, the body is you reinstated in that same body, and you continue to live by the time of resurrection. Who wants to go back to this body? The body is all rotten, all eaten by worms, skeleton. You want to continue to live for eternity in a skeleton? No, you want a young, fresh body, But, you see their philosophy is contradictory to itself. If someone actually wants to come back, he's going to at least, get a better body. And that's what happens by nature. By nature, the spirit soul, according to its previous securities, gets a new body from one of the 8,400,000 species of life. So that's a big obstacle that I experienced there. People, they take the body, spot and all, and completely neglecting what makes the body alive, the 25th element. There are 24 elements, right, in this element structure. I think both, like in chemistry too, there are 24, right, or more?
I don't know if I get it. Science.
Yeah, we can check.
Yeah. You mean like the periodic table? How many chemicals there are? Like the studies. Oh, yeah, it's pretty big.
Oh, 118.
We're kind of off.
Yeah, but there's an account of 24, and then it multiplies.
Okay.
It's 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. It's innumerable times it's expanded. There's 3 modes of material nature, and then again they expanded to the 3 the different sense organs, the senses, sense objects, and all together. There's a summary of that in one of the chapters of the Bhagavad Gita, the field of activities or something like that. I'm going to go through. And so they don't understand that the body gonna merge as soon as the spirit soul leaves. The body is gonna merge. It's not what keeps actually the body alive. The worship of the body. Just like if someone dies, if you feed him after he dies, he's not gonna regain his consciousness. So long the spirit soul is there, the body is living. So the food, what it actually proves, that the food is not what keeps the body alive, or the water, or all these material things. We actually, according to Ayurveda, each and one of us has a particular number of heartbeats that are destined to, that he destined to have in a particular body.
Wow.
If he exceeds them, or even slows them down, like the yogis, actually there's a type of yoga like that. You heard?
No, but it's just interesting.
There's Prabhupada speaks about this yoga. It's called it's in the Bhagavad Gita. I forgot. The frogs, they do that yoga, and they suppress their heartbeat, and they're able to live practically forever. They can live for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Wow.
When they went to Kumbh Mela, Prabhupada, you can always be careful, because there are many yogis. They look very young, but they're 700, 800 years old. So don't offend them. They're going to curse you. You don't know what's going to happen to you.
Wow.
So Kumbhaka yoga. I think it's from the word Kumbhaka Ravan's brother, right? That was my calculation. Kumbhakarana. Right? Because he was actually doing that yoga too. He would sleep for 6 months, and then for 6 months he would fight. And then again he would sleep for 6 months, and then again for 6 months he would fight.
Oh, is that the giant?
And Prabhupada, he laughs about it, that, just like the materialists, some of them, they sleep for 12 hours a day. I remember I myself, when I was sleeping, it was 12 hours, and 13 even. If you take intoxication, the body is in such an ignorance that you need at least 12, 13 hours of sleep. So half of your life you spend in sleeping. So this is the big misconception of life, that we think that the body depends on something material. The body depends only on the soul. So all these different types of yoga, religion, they're all kicked out. This is the purpose of this verse. Why? Because they don't give any benefit except to the body. You know? Krishna consciousness gives direct benefit to the soul. You know? And how to reach it is what Prabhupada says there in the purport, that one has to perform many, many pious activities to smooth his consciousness, you know, to make his heart soft. You know? And people who are rough, para nirmatsananam, envious, they cannot adhere to the message of the Bhagavatam. The message of the Bhagavatam is for the soft-hearted, the Brahminical class, even higher than the Brahman. So how will the materialists, meat-eaters, Parikshit Maharaj, he says that meat-eaters and killers of the soul, they will not be attached to, attracted to this hearing of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Why? Because it's on a transcendental platform. But what does it mean? That no one can approach it unless he performs pious activities? Of course not. The Srimad Bhagavatam is so beautiful that by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, one accumulates innumerable pious activities, innumerable pious credit, agyata sukhati. Agyata sukhati, it's unknown pious credit. Like we go on the street and we offer people books. And they touch the books, or they see us, or they say Hare Krishna. They don't know what it is. They don't know what to do, what not to do, but they acquire credit on account of their on account of this seemingly coincidence that they met devotees and they repeated the holy name or they touched the book. So by hearing, by just simply attending these classes, because we too came from this lecture background, we acquire innumerable pious credit of as if we contributed millions of cows to brahmanas. And this will make us qualified to hear the Bhagavatam properly. Shushutsava, so this word Prabhupada marks there is very significant because it means to hear with rapt attention, right?
It's the submissive. Oh, be anxious to hear.
Be anxious to hear. That's what it says, word to word. The word to word?
Yeah. Yes. This particular, herein...
No, with the word to word.
Yeah, I'm reading. This particular word is shushrushu. One must be anxious to hear.
Sorry.
Oh, you mean the... oh, okay, I see what you mean.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Hard to hear.
shushrushu.
You're not going to be a Sanskrit scholar.
Well, I see that as the transliteration. I never heard it as the word to word. Okay, I can't find it there. Vashtu Ummanahan. Oh, Shushruvish by culture.
Hearing by culture?
Yeah, that's what it says. By culture. Not even hearing by culture, just by culture.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it makes sense.
By culture. CTV, by pious man. Yeah. All Prabhupada explains inside the purport the deeper meaning of that. We have to be anxious to hear. So people, why are they not anxious to hear? Because they're not anxious about the remission of the human form of life. They think they're going to live forever. Very convenient. Chanakya Pandit says, for the materialist, you never think that you're going to die. Because if you think you're going to die, how are you going to make plans, schemes to usurp the material, to indulge in material sense gratification, right? It's not like that you can jump and enjoy money, wealth, fame. You have to make so many schemes. Yeah? But for the spiritualists, it's recommended. Which page is that?
This is page 4 for me.
No, there's no print there? Like on the bottom of the...
Yeah, it says page 4.
How is it page 4? There's a huge introduction.
Yeah, I don't know. Because it goes, because the introduction finishes at, I can't remember the Roman numerals, but...
For the spiritualist, Chanakya Pandit says, you think that you're going to die any moment, right now. That's how you can practice spiritual life properly. And for the spiritualist, it's very easy, to be serious. He doesn't need to make any plans. He just has to be serious about this hearing process, and hear with rapt attention, with anxiety, to at least finish the human form of life, at least be liberated from this bodily conception of life. And then his success is assured. Any questions, viewers, about the next? You would like to say something?
I kind of thought that the materialists, isn't it kind of the conception that they do think they're going to die, and that's why they're trying to enjoy the most? Like the whole thing of like YOLO.
No, but you have to make schemes. Yeah, they say that it's just imitation of the spiritual principle. They say they live like you're gonna die tomorrow. They can. If you think like that, how you're gonna? You have to make a plan how to buy property.
My plan's gonna be I'm just gonna work hard.
Yeah, well,
I'm gonna.
You have to where I'm gonna work, what kind of job I'm gonna have. I want this job. Oh, I need a degree for this job. Oh, I want this woman. Okay, I have to take her first to a restaurant, then this, then that. It's all based on plans. Spiritual life, there's no planning because it's already there.
Ah, okay.
It's a matter of your personal sincerity and anxiety to.
Of you fulfilling the plan.
There's no plan in spiritual life. Again.
Well, there's like a schedule. There's like activities.
Schedule, yeah, it's for people who are materialists, for us, for Kanishta Adhikaris. But for devotee on the highest platform, he is with Krishna. It's in the Bhagavad Gita, 12th chapter. You open up Bhagavad Gita. You see, you didn't read Bhagavad Gita already. The shortest chapter. You can read it every day. Jayananda Thakur, actually, that's what he was doing. You would read this 12th chapter every day. The shortest chapter, you can in 5 minutes, you can read the whole, all the verses. And it explains this principle. Trying to find this page.
Which verse is it, Guru?
12th chapter, it explains these principles, how to surrender. If one cannot just think of me, one of the first verses. It's a short chapter. And read whatever you
For those who worship the unmanifested and indefinite. No, that's probably
next, it's after that.
For those who dedicate all activities unto me, who consider me the ultimate goal, who meditate upon me and worship me in unswerving devotional service, and whose minds are absorbed in me, O son of Pritha, I become the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death.
The next one.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus you will live in me always, without a doubt.
Yeah, so this is the real Krishna consciousness, that you're in Krishna. You always live in. You don't need to make any plans because you're already in Krishna. But if we cannot do it, then the next verse is for us.
If you are unable to fix your mind upon me without deviation, O Arjuna, conqueror of wealth, then try to reach me by following the principles of devotional service.
Yeah, so following the principles is the people who are unable. So for them, there's a plan. You wake up like this, you do like that, you watch your bond, you do all these different things. But for people, for devotees, so for the pure devotees, they don't have to think about it. Not that they don't follow these things. This is another nonsense. The sadhyas, they think, oh, I can just neglect all the rules or be spontaneous. No, the spontaneous devotee, he's the best neophyte devotee too. He follows everything very rigidly. But for him, it's his nature. He's not, maybe, you already maybe probably experienced, you wake up before the alarm clock. It's the body naturally is accustomed. So for pure devotee, it's not just the waking up, everything. Like for him, everything he looks, everything, Prabhupada says, everywhere he sees Krishna manifested, especially, Prabhupada says, in the human form of life. If he sees another human being, he sees a super soul. He doesn't speak to the person, he speaks to the super soul.
Wow.
The person is not he who is speaking. The soul is actually, the person is in a sleeping condition. But the super soul is directing him, and the pure devotee, he in association with the super soul, and he knows how to deal with these different personalities through the super soul. The living entity is like, it's sleeping. So whatever they say, it's just the modes of material nature. They play with them.
Wow.
So
So it's just natural
just,
position.
so. And there's an example of that too, that's why we actually offer obeisances to devotees. We don't offer obeisances to their body, especially to the Kanishta Adhikaris. There's nothing to offer obeisances. The body is rotten. We offer obeisances to the super soul. It's in the Srimad Bhagavatam. There is a nice passage about Lord Shiva, that he was sitting in trance in samadhi. There was some his wife's father, how do you call it? Father-in-law.
Yeah.
He was making some big ceremony, and Shiva came with his wife to accompany her, and suddenly he went into a samadhi. He couldn't move, and Daksha, his father-in-law, was passing by. Hey Priyashu, nice to see you. Hare Krishna. Over to Prabhupada. So Daksha, he took a big offense because he was a materialist. The word Daksha actually means someone who is very expert in material activities. And he took a big offense for that Shiva didn't bow down to him because it's his superior, and he is his superior, and he has to show some respect. But Shiva, he was in samadhi. He is not aware of anything going on externally. And Prabhupada explains that he didn't have to offer anyone obeisances at that point, because he was offering obeisances in the samadhi, in the state of trance. So we too, Prabhupada explains that when we offer respects to devotees, we should remember this. We offer respects to Krishna in the heart, in the super soul. Later on, with the devotee, if he becomes pure devotee, then like to Prabhupada, there is no difference between his body and his soul. That's different. That's why it's not idol worship. But if we think, now I'm worshiping this devotee because he is wearing a dhoti and a kurta, it's idol worship. We worship God within each and every living entity. That's why we're very careful. We don't unnecessary provoke anyone or say anything bad. We're very careful how we deal, even with the karmis, because Krishna too is there in their heart, and we don't want to create any disturbance to the super soul there. Why should we do it? Okay. Anything else for you?
I think that's it for me. Not that we can imitate though, right? Not that we can just say, I'm seeing Krishna in every...
Someone who sees Krishna never sees Krishna. He sticks to the philosophy. Yes, Krishna says, Maya tatamidam sarvam jagat adyaptam murtina. Natstani sarva bhutani na teshub aham avastitare. By my unmanifest, I'm there in my unmanifested form, in my energy, Maya. Yes, Krishna is everywhere, but he's not everywhere, because it's not his manifested form. His manifested form is in the spiritual world, and when he comes here for the pastimes. But otherwise, he's not shown to his devotees. We have to prove our sincerity. So stay tuned. Tomorrow we're going to read the third verse. If you ever join from Instagram, from the post, and keep you more updated with the live streams here. But make sure you subscribe and hit the bell button so you know when the next live stream is up. Yeah. Nigma kalpatarugyatam pahalam shukkam mukkam amitram darba santam. Or the expert and thoughtful. Hey, Hare Krishna Prabhus. We have a message from Living in Belize, one of the devotees in Spain.
Haribol.
Thank you for joining. We just to wind up and watch the rebroadcast, Prabhus. Say what you think. Hopefully the sound is better. We try to get the microphone. You have a good evening out there. Hare Krishna. All good. Srila Prabhupada. All good.
Jai.
Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Guru Premanande.
Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bol.
Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasaya Bhusa.